Sefer haMidot, by Nachman of Breslov, translated from Hebrew. Sefer haMidot, the Book of Character, aka the Book of Attributes, aka the Aleph Bet Book, N.A. Na-Nach, Na-Nach N-A-C-H-M-A, Na-Nach N-A-C-H-M-A Nachman, Me-U-M-A-N. Depression. 1 who has not rectified the sins of his youth. Through this worries come upon him. 2. For the most part, suffering comes to a man through his speech. 3. When you are suffering, speak about this suffering. 4. Through worries of the heart, falls upon the person fear of death. 5. Through submission, evil and sorrow are annulled. 6. One who is depressed should gaze upon the tzedakah, and joy will come to his heart. T.N. See also number 26. 7. When you enter the house of a non-Jew, through this depression comes upon you. 8. Through depression one becomes weakened. 9. Through an evil heart, one's face is transformed. 10. When you have anguish on a day of joy, and all your happiness is dispelled, know that your ancestral merit has been exhausted. 11. One who is depressed should continually give a gift to a tzaddik. 12. Through depression come fires, burnings. 13. Depression is a sign that some disease is about to manifest. 14. Due to depression, the Holy One, blessed be He, is not with him. 15. Through depression, one has lit, seized, a wasteful unintentional, seminal emission. 16. Depression comes through anger. 17. Through depression, a person does not reach his aspiration. 18. Due to depression, one is degraded. T.N. See also number 21. 19. Due to weeping, a person is unable to eat. 20. One who is not depressed, but is always joyful, will certainly be raised up. 21. Through depression comes degradation. T.N. See also number 18. 22. Crying is a positive sign for a sick person. 23. Through anguish, one's enemies are highly elevated. 24. Through anguish comes heart pain. 25. One who is hasty is gloomy, sad, annoyed, irritated. 26. Drawing close to tzedakah makes the heart joyous. T.N. See also number 6. 27. A segula for removing depression is to listen to an honored tzaddik when he sings. 28. One who does not confess his sins has sighing and worries come upon him. 29. When a person lusts after things that are against the will of the Holy One, blessed be He, through this anguish, sighing, comes upon him. 30. Sadness due to a bad dream annuls the influence of the dream, preventing it from coming to pass. 31. Voice, appearance, and scent restore a person's well-being. Lit. Knowledge, awareness. 32. Through screaming, one's pain is annulled. 33. One who is depressed brings suffering upon himself. T.N. The commentators do not provide any citation, so I suggest Bereshit 3:17 read as follows: when you are eaten with depression etc. The verse continues to enumerate different sufferings. 34. One who draws too far after his own suffering, suffering draws towards him. 35. Dates annul worry. 36. Agada, Talmudic legends, brings joy to a man. Part 2. 1. Depression fills the heart of a man when he becomes aware of his own evil. Bad fortune, for the heart causes all of this, because the heart is the cause of everything, for good or for bad. Lit. The opposite. 2. One must guard himself from depression in order that he not come to mourning. GD forbid. 3. Through suffering and sadness, conflict comes into the world. Conversely, through joy, peace comes to the world. 4. Through the spoiling of one's joy, sicknesses come upon him. T.N. See Proverbs chapter 18 verse 14 and Likutei Moharan volume 2 Torah 24. 5. It is a segula to remove depression through mercy. 6. Vows and pledges bring happiness. Difficulty in childbirth. 1. A woman who eats radishes while in pregnancy will have difficulties in childbirth. T.N. The commentators do not provide any citation here, so I found quoted from the book The Angel Raphael that a pregnant woman should not eat radishes or any other sharp foods. 2. A segula for a woman having difficulty in childbirth is to give her to drink water from 7 wells. T.N. The commentators do not provide any citation here, so I suggest a hint from Psalms 29, which has the 7 callings over the water. And the last calling is bringing birth pangs to the gazelle. The 7 callings are also the 70 screams a woman emits during childbirth. Likutei Moharan Torah 21. Therefore drinking from 7 places of water would facilitate the birth. 3. Also, her children should not be with her in the house. T.N. Following the previous source, the verse says that the final calling brings birth pangs, and it strips clean the forests. The forests can be an allusion to one's children, as we find in Psalms 144-12. 4. Also, whisper in her ear the letters of the name Sa, G. 63. One of the spelled out Kabbalistic names of GD. Yud Vav Daled. Hey Yud. Vav Aleph Vav. Hey Yud. The numerical value of all these letters is 63. Sa, G. T. N. Following the previous source, the initials of the words of that verse. And he strips clean the forests, and in his chamber it all says honor, have the numerical value of 63. This divine name is also the root of the honor of the divine presence. And as the verse implies, that this honor should be said. 5. Also, her bed should not stand in the west or the south. 6. Also, hang from her neck bitter herbs left over from Passover. 7. Also, whisper to her in her ear the letters Pe, Vav, Ayin, He. These letters spell out Pua, an alias and appellation demonstrative of the comforting murmuring practiced by one of the 2 midwives in the Egyptian servitude who assisted Jewish mothers in birthing. It is possible to understand the original Hebrew as an instruction to whisper the letters that spell out the above letters. Hey Aleph, Vav Aleph Vav, Ayin Yud Nun, Hey Aleph, HARCHUKASRISHUIM, distancing the wicked. Part 1. 1. When a tzaddik comes to the house of a wicked person, the house is blessed, but this is only when the house is fit to receive blessing. 2. Keep far away from the wicked, so that you will not be caught up in their punishment. 3. Due to enmity, one may come to display friendliness to the wicked. T.N. There is a hint to this from a verse in Psalm 73-3 read as follows. I was zealous against the wicked less than even still. For the sake of greater than peace with the wicked I will see. 4. Sometimes, when one does a favor for a totally wicked person, it gives satisfaction to the holy blessed one. 5. It is forbidden to relate their praise. Evildoers, however, in a case in which praising them will also result in praise for a tzaddik, it is permitted to relate a little. 6. One who judges a wicked one favorably is also called wicked. 7. Even when an evildoer does some act according to the religious law, we do not depend on him. 8. One who was a guarantor for an evildoer falls into sexual lust, and also becomes weak. 9. An evildoer who has forgotten GD completely, it is certain that no upright descendants will issue forth from him. 10. When an enemy of GD fall into your hands, do not have mercy on him. 11. When you do not attach yourself to liars that are known to you. Through this you will merit to discern the hypocrites. 12. One who hates enticers, missionaries. Their words will certainly have no influence. Literally, stick on him. 13. Through learning Torah, distance is created between the wicked who are drawing close. 14. One who distances himself from the wicked, the Holy Blessed One brings him a salvation. 15. The scattering of the wicked from each other is a sign of salvation. 16. Avoid living in a house in which an evildoer lived. 17. Do not speak to enticers, missionaries, even to chastise them or bring them close to repent. 18. Associating with the wicked is damaging to the service of GD. T.N. See the opening psalm of the Book of Psalms. 19. It is appropriate and fitting for the holy servants of GD to make a screen and shield, to the point that every afflicting and evil person will flee from it. Part 2. 1. One who does not understand the wickedness of hypocritical evildoers is abhorrent. 2. Hypocrites cause eye pain to the errant masses who are fooled by them. 3. A man needs to guard himself from kissing evildoers, for the kiss creates a bond between them even after death. 4. There are those who are great apostates and heretics, but they do not reveal their heresy, and one is unaware of the need to guard himself. However, through the attribute of conducting oneself, modesty, a person is saved from these heretics. 5. The wicked do not confuse us in our holy service through their sins that they transgress, as they do through the good deeds they do. It is for this reason that a non-Jew who observes the Shabbat is liable to the death penalty. Dream. 1. For a bad dream, say in the morning, the dreams speak vainly. 2. For a good dream, say in a tone of wonderment, could it be that dreams speak vainly? When it is written, in a dream I speak to him. Bamidbar. 12-6. Describing the way GD communicates with prophets. 3. One who conducts himself modestly in the lavatory, his dreams will be settled. 4. Through speaking disparagingly about a tzaddik who has passed away, one is shown nightmares. 5. One who sees nightmares, it is a sign that a son or student will turn heretic in public. Lit. Burn the food he is cooking. Part 2. 1. One who wants his dreams to be realized should write them in his ledger. And the day, the hour, and the place. Drunkenness. 1. Through drunkenness, one falls from his level. 2. Through drinking wine, one ends up accepting bribes. 3. Drunkenness brings one to deny truth and to attest to falsehood. 4. The Holy One, blessed be He, loves one who never gets drunk. 5. Oil nullifies drunkenness. 6. Vision intensifies drunkenness. 7. Through drunkenness, one falls to having promiscuous thoughts. 8. One who is drunk, a drunk, does not have the power to sweeten harsh judgments. 9. One who is drunk, a drunk, secrets of the Torah are not to be revealed to him. 10. Wine with the spice of frankincense confound a person. Part 2. 1. One who is eagerly desirous to work the land, comes to one of three things: either murder, or leprosy, or drunkenness. 2. Drunkenness causes exile, and also causes spilling seed wastefully. 3. It is impossible that drunkenness will not lead to some mishap. 4. Through drunkenness, one forgets the warnings of Moshe Rabbeinu, for Moshe is enclosed in the 248 limbs of a man, and in each and every limb, he warns the man regarding the mitzvahs contingent to it. Because of this, Moshe is called Mekoketh, one who engraves the law, which has the gematria, numerical value, of 248. 5. Through drunkenness, one removes the kindness which clothed the DAAS, realization of knowledge, and clothe it with intense harshness. GD forbid. 6. One who has enemies should swear off wine. and through this you will become their head. Eating. 1. From what you eat, leave over, so that GD's blessing may imbue your food. 2. A man's proper conduct at his table purifies him from all his sins. 3. A man's proper conduct at his table merits him the world to come, and merits livelihood, and that he is inscribed for good in the highest heights, and it merits him additional strength and might at the time he needs it. 4. Due to the sin of procrastinating justice, and distorting, and ruining judgment, and for neglect of Torah study, drought comes, and people eat without being satiated, and they eat their bread in measured rations. 5. When one eats a little, he is lit, his heart is drawn more after food than one who has not eaten at all and has already given up on eating. 6. Why did the Jews become liable to annihilation? Because they took part in the feast of that evil one, Achashverosh, in the story of Purim. 7. The altar of the holy temple dispels evil decrees, atones sins, nourishes and gives love, and the table, on which one eats, is similar to the altar. 8. One who eats without first washing his hands, in the way prescribed by Halacha, is as if he had relations with a prostitute, and one who trivializes the ritual hand-washing is uprooted from the world. 9. One should not drink water in public. Part 2. 1. One who manifests the image of GD through eating something that had life, like meat or fish, elevates it. He himself is elevated, and so the reverse. One without that image degrades that food, himself. 2. Eating fish arouses sexual desire. 3. By saying Birkat Hamazon, the grace after the meal, the blessed GD becomes known in the world. 4. By saying Birkat Hamazon, grace after meal, the government is settled from strife and wars. 5. One who learns Torah with a clear mind, that his eating is so holy that he is nourished from the same food from which the angels are nourished, causes that his enemies be punished with strangulation. This is learned from Torah passages. And it was on the third day, when it became morning, quote, Shemot 19:16, and in the morning there was a layer of dew, quote, Shemot 16:13, and it was in the watch of the morning, quote, Shemot 14:24. Rabbi Nosson states, I heard an explanation of this article directly from his Rabbi Nachman, Holy Mouth, for the first passage, and it was on the third day, at the beginning of the morning, was said in reference to the giving of the Torah, the aspect of what was said above, one who learns with a pure mind. The second quote, and in the morning there was a layer of dew, refers to the manna, which is the food by which the angels are nourished. As the sages Ob-Em said, the third quote, and it was in the watch of the morning, refers to the splitting of the Red Sea, wherein the Egyptians were drowned in the sea, which is the aspect of strangulation. As the sages Ob-Em said, Rabbi Nachman drew a connection between these passages through the word morning that appears in all three. Through this he found the above hasaga in the Torah. 6. One who does not taste anything when he eats should know that the blessed GD has separated himself from him. 7. The eating of tzaddikim is higher than the sacrifices, and higher than their conjugal relations. 8. The fish are fat in the merit of the sacrifices. 9. One who was bitten by a dog, it is certain that the mercies of heaven are removed from him. And it is also certain that he has erred with eating forbidden foods. 10. One who guards himself from forbidden foods, he is saved from wild animals. 11. One whose enemies are on the rise, he falls into the desires of food. 12. Through desires of food, one comes to love one of his children more than the others. 13. Come eat my food, bread, and drink. Quote, Mishli 9-5. The initials of the Hebrew words in this verse spell lulav, palm branch taken on sukkos. Quote, with wine, with the 4 letters of the word, has the same gematria, numerical value, as the initials of etrog, hadas, arava, citron, myrtle, willow. The word, masakti, I mixed, is an aspect of Sukkot, in that the words share the same root letters. Thus we derive that, through the mitzvah of taking the 4 species and through dwelling in the sukkah, a man merits to have food, drink, and clothing, and also that his soul will receive life force. Through the sukkah one merits to have clothing, an aspect of when I placed clouds as his garment. Ayah 38-9. Through the willow one merits drinking. Through the myrtle one merits to vitalize the soul. And through the lulav and the etrog one merits eating. For they have fruits, which are types of food. 14. Food and drink come through law and justice. 15. That when a man drinks, he begins to sing and play music, which is not so with eating, is because they sang praise to GD about the miraculous well, but they did not say songs of praise about the manna. The elderly. Part 2. 1. The elders uphold Israel, and their advice is good for us. 2. According to the elderly of the generation, so is the income. 3. If the elders are not wise, a sign of the matter is that their main esteem is by young women. Faith. 1. It is necessary to believe in Hashem, may he be blessed, by way of faith and not by way of proof. 2. Through humility, you merit faith. 3. When you see something unusual happen, do not say it happened by chance. Rather, believe that this is the providence of Hashem, may he be blessed. 4. There are things that cause great damage to the world. This is a difficult matter. Why were they created? You should know that, certainly, they have one good aspect in them. 5. Someone who enjoys the words of a heretic, even if the words are not heretical. Through this, he comes to thoughts of idol worship. 6. Through faith, a person is beloved to Hashem, may he be blessed, as a wife is to her husband. 7. Someone who does not prepare his heart, is not able to come to faith. 8. Someone who has lost something, it is certain that he fell from his faith. 9. Someone who lost his faith, should go to Jewish graves and tell over the loving kindnesses that the Holy One, blessed be He, did for him. 10. Faith depends on a person's mouth. 11. Through learning Torah, all the heresies are broken. 12. Through faith, one is blessed. 13. Through excessive eating, we fall from faith. 14. When you gaze at the skies when they are clear and bright, you merit faith in the sages. 15. When some difficulty about Hashem, may he be blessed, befalls you, then be silent. Through the silence, your thoughts will themselves provide you the answer to your question. T.N. See also Likutei Moharan Volume 2, Torah 7:16. When they insult you, and you remain silent, you merit to understand an answer to your problem, and you merit the spirit of understanding. 17. When a person has learned and very wealthy opposers, know that this happened because he fell many times from faith. 18. Faith is considered like charity. T.N. See also number 30. 19. Through faith, one become wise. T.N. See also Likutei Moharan, Torah 91, and Torah 64-5. 20. At first, one needs to believe in Hashem, may he be blessed, and afterwards, he merits to understand him intellectually. T.N. See citations to Likutei Moharan listed by number 19. 21. The mating of the Holy One, blessed be He, is through the souls of Israel. 22. A person's intentional sin brings heresy into a person. 23. When one falls from his faith, he will weep. 24. Faith comes through silence. 25. Through jealousy, a person falls from his faith. 26. Someone who does not have faith, it is certain that he belittles words of Torah. 27. Someone who is constantly cleaning his hand. Through this, he cleans his heart. 28. When a person falls from faith, he should know that they are judging him above. 29. When one falls from his faith, he comes into the grip of an accidental emission, into the grip of thoughts of women, and into the grip of idolatrous thoughts. 30. Faith comes through charity. T.N. See also number 18. 31. Through faith, it is possible to understand Hashem. May he be blessed. 32. Through faith, it is possible to come to trust. 33. Through faith, the Holy One, blessed be he, will forgive you for all of your sins. 34. Sometimes, the Holy One, blessed be he, sends suffering to a person and smites him, but does not cast him down into weakness. This is only for the sake of faith. 35. Through a false oath, one falls from faith. 36. Someone who lacks faith does not accept moral criticism. 37. Someone who does not believe in the words of the Tzaddik, ultimately, he will have no benefit from the matter, even thought he sees the matter come to pass. 38. Someone who lacks faith, it is certain that the decrees of the Holy One, blessed be he, are despised by him. 39. The Messiah will come quite suddenly. As a result, because of joy, Israel will be frightened. 40. When the Messiah comes, then all the ministers above and below will get sick. But now, when a minister ascends, Israel are sickened. 41. In the time to come, each one who is younger in years than his fellow will be higher. T.N. See also Rabbi Nachman's Storytales of Ancient Times. The story of the 7 beggars. The story of the blind beggar and what is explained there. 42. Jerusalem was only destroyed because they profaned the Sabbath, nullified the recital of the Shema in the morning and evening, nullified the Torah learning and prayer of the young children. Tinochos shel bais rabbin, were not ashamed one from another, made the small and the great equal, and also did not rebuke each other, and also humiliated Torah scholars, and also men of faith desisted from her. 43. Jerusalem will only be redeemed through charity. 44. War is the beginning of the redemption. 45. Someone who raises pigs, he holds back the redemption. 46. Jerusalem will not be rebuilt until there is peace among Israel. T.N. See also Likutei Maharan Torah 80. 47. The fact that Israel goes in exile from nation to nation is a sign that the Messiah will come. 48. When the nations exceedingly disgrace us, this is a sign of the Messiah. 49. The holy temple will not be built until arrogance ceases. T.N. See also Likutei Maharan Torah 57. 50. Through the unity that will exist in Israel, the Messiah will come. 51. The Messiah will come in a year of blessing. 52. The Messiah will not come until all the souls have left the supernal body. 53. Someone who marries off his daughter to a Torah scholar, gives him to benefit from his wealth, and does business for a Torah scholar, merits the resurrection of the dead. 54. From the breath of the mouth of the liar, the evil inclination is created. So when the Messiah comes, then there will be no falsehood. As a result, there will be no evil inclination in the world. 55. Someone who is a man of truth, he can recognize in another person if the other person speaks truth or not. 56. Falsehood, the majority will not agree to upon it. 57. The Holy One, blessed be he, hates the man who says one thing with his mouth and other in his heart. 58. A deceitful wealthy person, who denies having the possessions of others, The mind cannot bear him. He is also despised in his own eyes. 59. To repair the mouth, give charity. 60. Through truth, the world is protected from all damages. 61. Through adulation, one comes to falsehood. 62. Someone who gives charity, his reward is that he will merit truth. 63. Through falsehood, you will certainly hate the humble. 64. A person can be recognized through his servants whether he loves falsehood or not. 65. When there is no truth, there is no kindness. 66. When you have falsehood, when the Holy One, blessed be He, wants to perform some salvation for you, then the falsehood reveals your sins, so that He will not save you. 67. Through truth, the Holy One, blessed be He, redeems you from all suffering. 68. Better for a person to die than to live and be considered a liar in the people's eyes. Part 2. 1. Sometimes, a person comes to a certain place, and he suffers in that place. He should know that his forefathers were in this place, and some heresy befell them. Or, his children will come at this place to some heresy. Because of this, he bears suffering now in this place. 2. Through adulation, one comes to heresy. 3. The Holy One, blessed be He, does not perform wonders except for one who believes in two worlds. 4. Through faith, the decrees that the nations decree upon us are nullified. 5. Know that each and every grass has a specific power to heal some specific sickness. This is only for someone who does not guard his faith in his organ of the covenant, and does not guard himself from transgressing. Do not disdain anyone, but someone who has perfect faith, and he also guards his organ of the covenant and fulfills. Do not disdain anyone. His healing does not depend on types of grasses which are specific to his illness. Rather, he is healed by all food and drink. In the aspect of, he will bless your bread, and he does not need to wait until they provide specific grasses for his healing. 6. The main salvation which is coming is only through faith, and the attribute of faith is according to the leaders of the generation. 7. When one goes from master to master, then he needs to strengthen his faith in the unity of Hashem. May he be blessed, because learning from many teachers damages faith in the unity. So too, the master who has faith in the unity, he is able to illuminate to each and every student according to his ability. And each student only hears what he needs, and no more. 8. Consolation comes through faith. 9. Through the diminishment of faith, flies increase in the world. 10. Someone who guards himself from transgressing, do not covet. Through this, he is saved from anger and arrogance, and from a lack of faith which comes through anger and arrogance. 11. By not making Gdliness known to the nations of the world. Through this, the nations of the world incite and seduce Israel to follow superficial sciences. 12. Through spoiling of faith, judgments are aroused, and through thoughts of idol worship, judgments of judgments are aroused. That is, they judge the judgments that were judged already, as to whether they were judged properly and without leniency. 13. Bereavement of children comes, Gd forbid, to someone who casts down his fellow from faith. 14. A woman who is careful about challah, peace taken from dough, her children are faithful. 15. Through faith, the mind is settled. 16. Through Torah one comes to faith, and through faith, one comes to sanctify Hashem. 17. Someone who is not able to sleep should arouse in his thought faith in the resurrection of the dead. 18. Those of little faith, it is difficult for them to conceive original Torah ideas. Fame. 1. There are famed leaders whose fame is mainly created through dispute. 2. A person is tested in order to make him great and famous. 3. Through strife, It happens that the lesser students become famous before their time. This is the aspect of miscarriage. That the infant emerges into the air of the world before his time. This causes poverty, and sometimes causes deaths. GD forbid. Fear. 1. At the time that an evildoer becomes afraid, it is certain that, at this time, the Holy One blessed be He grants the Tzaddik his desire. 2. Through fear comes stumbling. 3. Through trust. In GD, you will be saved from fear. 4. A segula, effective way to nullify fear is to remember our father Abraham. 5. With charity, you will nullify fear. 6. An effective way to nullify fear is to say, Hashem tzvaos. T.N. This is probably an inference to the verses in Psalms 46-8, 84-13, 2010. These 3 verses are found together throughout the prayers and are known for their saving powers. 7. Through fear, arrogance is nullified. 8. Fear saps a person's strength. 9. An intelligent person has nothing to fear from just a random noise. 10. Someone who becomes frightened, even though he does not see his mazel, fortune, sees. To remedy this, he should jump from his place a distance of 4 cubits, or recite the Shema, or say, the goats in the butcher shop are fatter than I. 11. Someone who has fears should sing a song of joy. 12. By picturing the name Elohim before your eyes, fears will leave you. 13. Someone who consumes Jewish money, fears come to him. 14. Someone who is not careful with the blessings at the beginning and end of eating, fears come to him. 15. Through trust in GD, you will not have fear. T.N. See above 3. 16. Willow branches beaten on Hoshana Rabbah have segula, are conducive to nullifying fear. 17. One who listens to and obeys a Torah court's decision, Torah law, will be saved from fear. 18. 310 immersions in a mikvah, ritual bath, nullify fear. One should also give a gift to a tzaddik. 19. Through truth, a person is saved from fear at night. 20. Through humility, you will not have fear. 21. A house in which there is fear, it is certain that the other side has a portion in it. 22. When there is some fear and, afterwards, a fire, burning, comes, it is certain that the fear will be annulled. 23. Fear comes through adulation. 24. When Israel is united, the nations fear them. 25. When they forget Hashem, may he be blessed, and do not rely on him. Through this, they fear the nations. 26. Through worry comes fear. 27. Through fear comes lies. 28. The light of a candle is a segula for conducive to reducing fear. 29. Through boasting of wealth comes fear. 30. Fear comes through anger. 31. Through worry and fear, the heart becomes sealed, insensitive. 32. By learning Torah at the table at mealtime, one is saved from fear. 33. Someone who has fear, this is a sign that the Holy One, blessed be He, hides His face from him, and a sign that judgments rest on him. 34. One who does not confess his sins, fear comes to him. Part 2. 1. When fear comes to a person, he should know that someone who shares his mazel has come into some trouble. 2. Sometimes a person becomes afraid before some good comes to him. 3. Someone who flees from trouble is smart. 4. On a night that you have fear when it is time to sleep, do not go on the road in the day. 5. When a person is on the verge of death, even if he is still healthy and does not know of his death sentence, nonetheless, he becomes afraid and says verbally that he will die. Fear of GD. 1. Someone who is not wise in his own eyes is able to come to fear of GD. 2. someone who draws close to an elder and withstands his anger. Through this he merits fear of GD. 3. When someone has the opportunity to do kindness and he does not bestow it. Through this, he falls from his fear of GD. 4. Someone who minimizes conversation will merit fear of GD. 5. Someone who speaks and motivates his friend to fear of heaven. All the words that leave his mouth at the time that he speaks with his friend get made into a book. 6. Someone who has fear of heaven. His words are heard. 7. Crying over the death of a kosher person is considered like fear of heaven. 8. Fear of Hashem increases for a person beyond what his mazel, fortune, mandates. And the opposite is also true. 9. Through serving righteous people, one comes to fear of heaven. And the opposite is also true. 10. Shame leads to fear of sin. 11. The merit of fear of GD lasts for 1,000 generations. 12. Someone who does not leave behind a son or a student. This is called not fearing Elohim. 13. Covering the head brings one to fear of GD. 14. A person from whom the populace is blessed certainly has fear of heaven. 15. Someone who has fear of heaven can break the heart of the haughty. 16. And draws down the divine presence into the world. 17. And comes into the grip of submission to GD. 18. Also, the instigator is not able to deviate him. 19. One who constantly clings to the fear of Hashem. May he be blessed, the Holy One, blessed be he, does miracles for him. 20. One who is constantly connected to the fear of GD and does not forget about it, all of his sins are pardoned. 21. One who has fear of GD will certainly listen to the voice of the righteous. 22. He will also come to the attribute of trust in GD. 23. Through fear of heaven, the Holy One, blessed be he, gives him peace. 24. Someone who does not have fear of GD does not walk in the way of Hashem. 25. Through fear of GD, one comes to truth. 26. One who has fear of GD does not fall from his greatness and keeps getting greater. 27. One who has the wisdom of Elohim, GD, in his heart, the people will be afraid of him. 28. Someone who has fear of GD, when fright comes to the world, he will not be afraid. Rather, he will even be happy. 29. Someone who has fear of GD will certainly humble himself before the Zadok. 30. Through haughtiness, there is no fear of GD. 31. 2. Acquire fear of GD, go to the ritual bath. 32. Through sanctifying the name of GD, you will come to fear of GD. 33. Intentional sins remove the fear of GD from before his eyes. 34. Someone who does not pay attention to the day of death. Through this, he has no fear of GD. 35. When a person falls from his fear of GD, it is known that they judge him above. 36. Through the gift that one gives to the righteous, one merits fear of GD. 37. Also, 310 immersions in a mikvah, ritual, bath or a segula, conducive to fear of GD. 38. Desire, that a person desires to perform a Torah commandment, is a sign that he has fear of GD. Part 2. 1. Through fear of GD and kindness, one is saved from fire and merits a livelihood. 2. A place of Torah decision, i.e. where the scholars study, decide, and teach the proper Torah conduct, is helpful for fear of GD. 3. Through learning the Shulchan Aruch, code of Jewish law, one comes to fear of GD. 4. Through the outstanding and sharp ones of the generation, fear of GD is illuminated, and through fear of GD, the merit of the forefathers is sparked, and through the sparkling of the forefathers, repentance is aroused in the world. 5. There is power in the hand of the individual to cast off the yoke of heaven. But it is not within the hand of the masses to cast off the yoke of heaven. 6. The voice that emanates from an intelligent, holy person is a segula, conducive to fear of GD. 7. Through confusion of the intellect, fear of GD is ruin. Also, through confusion of the intellect, one's authority falls. 8. Monetary interest causes a loss of fear of GD. 9. Those who draw close to GD-fearing people, they also merit fear of GD and knowledge. Foul language. 1. Someone who speaks foul language, it is certain that in his heart he thinks thoughts of sin. 2. Through foul language comes adulation. 3. From the sin of foul language, troubles and evil decrees are renewed, and the young men of Israel die. GD forbid, and orphans and widows cry out and are not answered. 4. One who defiles his speech, even if they have sealed for him a decree of 70 years for good, they reverse it to bad. Also, they deepen hell for him. This also applies to one who hears such speech and remains silent. 5. More stringent is one who speaks verbally than the one who performs an action. Falling. 1. Sometimes a man falls from his level in his old age. 2. Through collecting taxes, a man falls from his level. 3. Through jealousy one falls from his level. 4. Due to jealousy, a person does not have consistency. Sometimes he prays with enthusiasm and learns with diligence, and other times, the prayer and learning are a burden to him. 5. One who blunders in his speech, stammers, and certainly, one needs a fluent tongue for everything he needs to express, but one who, nevertheless, blunders in his speech, it is certain that his livelihood has been curtailed, and he is in need of great kindness and salvation, that the Holy One, blessed be He, should grant him his livelihood. 6. By taking an oath, a person's longings can be recognized. Alternate version. His longings are cut off. Both versions are correct. However, only one justifies this dictum to be categorized here under the entry of falling. 7. When a man slips and falls, this is because he had strengthened himself to commit a sin. See Psalm 73-18. 8. When you begin doing a mitzvah, and the beginning is with all your heart, you will be successful in fulfilling this mitzvah, and no harm will come to you. 9. One who falls from his awe of GD, it is certain that his awe was not pure. 10. A person falls due to desire for money. 11. If you guard yourself from thievery, and from oaths, and from falsehood, you will not fall from your level. 12. When a man prays in a minyan which includes wicked people, they sometimes send him down a segula, to be protected, for this is to raise one's hands up during prayer. 13. One whose heart falls from its enthusiasm, it is because he hates the Zaddik. 14. The Zaddik who rules the world with truth will not fall from his importance. 15. One who flees from honor and the honor pursues him, will certainly not descend from nor fall in prestige. 16. Through attachment to Tzaddikim, one will not fall from one's level. Part 2. 1. One who is going, walking, and falls, should know that his guardian angels have deserted him. 2. One who has a thought of having relations with a Gentile woman, it is certain that he will have some sort of fall. 3. Or some sickness will come upon his wife and children. Favor, charm, grace. 1. Through charity one attains favor. 2. Through humility one attains favor. 3. To find favor, one should be a host to guests. 4. Also, one should guard oneself from forbidden foods and guard one's mouth from forbidden speech. 5. One who expends money to acquire a rabbi from whom to learn. Through this he will find grace. 6. When you defer, you will find grace. 7. Through giving rebuke, you will find grace. 8. Olive oil is a segula, auspicious, for grace. 9. A segula for finding grace is to write on parchment. Silver and gold, kindness and truth champion. 10. By the awe you have, for a Torah scholar, you merit to grace. 11. Words that are spoken, lit, come out, calmly are accepted by people. 12. There are fish which are conducive to grace. 13. Learning Torah while traveling gives one grace. Part 2. 1. When a man comes to a city to live, he should send meat to the poor of the city, and through this he will find grace in the eyes of the city's officials. Forger. 1. Through forger comes the punishment of incarceration. 2. Through forgery, one becomes connected to the opposers of chastities. Healing. Part 2. 1. Know that every herb has its unique power to heal a specific sickness. However, all this is only relevant for one who did not preserve his faith, his covenant, sexual purity, and did not guard himself from transgressing. Do not disdain anyone. However, one whose faith is complete, who guards his sexual purity and is wary not transgress, do not disdain. His healing is not dependent on herbs specific to his illness. Rather, he can be healed by all foods and drinks. In the aspect of, and he will bless your bread, Shemot 23:25, and he does not need to wait until the herbs specific to his disease are available to him. 2. Through in-depth study of the secrets of Torah, one can cause barren women to conceive and heal serious illnesses. 3. For leprosy, salty things are detrimental, and its healing is fresh, naturally flowing water. A sign for this, Job chapter 36 verse 27, the diminishing of the drops of water, that is, the leprosy that comes from the overwhelming of the blood over the water, mixed in it, through which, Yazoku, sending rain to its cloud. The word Yazoku signifies damage. T.N. It seems that rain to its cloud is an aspect of fresh water. Thus leprosy can be seen as a deficiency of fresh water, thus establishing that it can be cured by fresh water and damaged by salty things, which are the antithesis of fresh water. 4. Looking at the etrog is a healing for pain in the eyes. Hisbodidus. Seclusion, often implying to be alone in communion with the Lord. 1. One who isolates himself and separates himself from others. They pay close attention to him from above. T.N. Rabbi Nachman of Cheren's references show clearly that this attention from above is to address the person's sins. The word rabbi nu used, mizdakek, can mean 1. To engage in, to care, 2. To attach oneself to, make love to, 3. To get at, to harm, jastra. The sense here is sense 1, namely scrutiny of the man. Thus this maxim is prone to be misunderstood, to be taken as a positive thing, as purification or some sort of grace. This misconception is based on the common knowledge of the high regard Rabbi Nachman of Breslov had for Hisbodidus, secluding oneself in communion with GD. However, just like in the second entry here on Hisbodidus, where Rabbi Nachman of Breslov reveals that there is a way that Hisbodidus can be harmful, so here too Rabbi Nachman is revealing that if in addition to one's Hisbodidus he generally separates himself from people, this will bring on him judgment scrutiny. G.F. See Rambam, Laws of Repentance 4-1, that separating oneself from the public prevents one from repenting. Also see Sisho Heron number 81, that if a person would be completely alone, even though he may be bombarded with bad thoughts and even sin. G.F. he would be filled with remorse and eventually would turn to a truthful path. However, in the continuation of that teaching, Rabbi Nachman seems to explain that this isolation is exclusive of bad or misguided people. Also see Sisho Heron number 77, that a person has in himself elements of representation of all the 70 nations. And when a person is alone and not at peace with himself, he can go crazy from the internal schism of these elements. However, when a person is with others, the elements are spread out and championed accordingly to the other people who are most similar. 2. Through isolating oneself and setting one's heart wantonly, one comes to anger. Part 2. 1. The conversation that one conducts privately between him and his Creator. This conversation is made afterwards into a redemption and salvation for his children. N. See also salvation number 3. High position, greatness. 1. One who instills inordinate dread upon the public not for the sake of heaven, does not see, i.e. will not have, a son as a Torah scholar. 2. One who begins a matter of a mitzvah and does not finish it, he is brought down from his high position. 3. When the Holy One, blessed is He, takes retribution upon the enemies of Israel, He appoints for them directors who are not good. 4. The son of a righteous man is lifted to high position when he does not go in a straight path, in order that he should go in a straight path. 5. Through giving, charity, one rises. 6. A man does not rise to high position unless he is forgiven for all his sins. 7. When heaven raises an important man, they do not bring him down. 8. Through wisdom, humility, and being social, one's words are fulfilled above. 9. When heaven wants to raise a righteous man and publicize him, heaven sends discord between the evil people. 10. When someone humiliates you, and you accept it happily, through this you will merit respect and joyous eminence. 11. One who does not accept rebuke, through this he does not grow, become great. See also number 13. N. 12. High position comes to one who constantly reviews his learning. N. It is interesting to note the seemingly misplacement of this adage, coming in between two similar ones. From here we can learn that the virtue of constantly reviewing one's learning is related and contingent on his acceptance of criticism. Perhaps connected to this is what Rabbi Nachman revealed in Likutei Moharan Torah 121, that one who sees his shortcomings and lowliness wherever he looks in the holy books, this is an indication that he desires to do the will of GD. The ability to constantly review one's learning may very well be contingent on one's interest in hearing what the Torah is telling him personally, an aspect of seeing one's shortcomings and lowliness, and is thus eligible for number 13. 13. High position comes through rebuke. N. See number 11. 14. One who Hashem his GD is with him, he will have an ascent. 15. Through a change of name comes a change in fortune. 16. Through the traveling one does from village to village and from city to city. His words are not heard, accepted. 17. One who judges Israel favorably merits to a great ascent. 18. One who has high position, and fears lest he need die because his friend's time has come to receive this high position. He should flee from this high position, or he should employ a scheme that his friend should flee from this city. 19. When people come to one and say to him, "Teach us the way of GD," it is certain that he will have high position. 20. A man does not become famous, unless the Holy One blessed is he appears upon him from above. 21. High position comes through having trust in GD, in time of trouble. 22. Someone with intelligence will certainly ascend to greatness quickly. 23. When the Zadok is raised to great height, everyone is in wonderment over him. 24. One who hates theft rises to greatness. N. See also number 31. 25. Through wisdom or success, one becomes famous. 26. A man to whom the nations of the world give him gifts should know that his high position has been prepared, correct, established by the blessed GD. 27. Through saying Tehillim, one is elevated on high. 28. When a man attains high position, it is if he was newborn. 29. Due to mentioning names of idolatry, one does not rise, gain high position. 30. Through learning Aggadah, non-legal lore of the Talmud and Medrash, at night, one rises. 31. Eminence comes about through hating falsehood. T.N. See also number 24. 32. Through loving the righteous, Tzaddikim, one rises. 33. Through serving GD with cognizance, and not by rote, one will certainly rise. 34. High position comes through spoken words, statements, insights, maxims, or the like. 35. Also through submission, before GD. 36. Through sanctifying the name of GD, one is raised high. 37. High position comes through having mercy. 38. Through faith, one rules over the arrogant. 39. One who appoints a judge who is not worthy will in the end be judged by lit. Fall into the hand of Gentile judges. 40. Through giving rebuke for the sake of heaven, one merits to high position. 41. Through building a house in the land of Israel, one merits to high position. 42. Through giving respect to the Torah, one merits to high position. 43. Not always can a man rule his domain, for sometimes there comes a time which this time has vitality, only from a different president. 44. Someone whom the Holy One blessed is he has elevated, accord him respect and go to be by him. 45. The ascent of a man is a goodness of the hour. Part 2. 1. One who infringes his friend's territory, his greatness is diminished. 2. The Holy One blessed is he does not give greatness to a man until he tests him with something small. 3. Through confusion of the mind, fear of GD is ruined. Also through confusion of the mind, one's dominion falls. 4. Through zeal, one merits to be a faithful leader. Lit. Shepherd. A hint for this is in the passage. Go to the ant, lazy one. Mishli Proverbs chapter 6 verse 6. Quote, and it is also written, from there the shepherd of the stone of Israel. Bereshit 49 to 24. Quote, the end letters of the words in this passage spell ant. 5. When one bribes an official to be appointed to a position, that someone else should be removed and he should be appointed. This is like witchcraft. 6. Thoughts of idolatry, and promiscuous thoughts, and spilling blood. T.N. On the first two items Rabbi Nachman wrote thought of, and on this third item he did not. So it is not clear whether this item is referring to the actual spilling of blood or even just thoughts of it. The source for this maxim is in Likutei Moharan 227, and based on the explanation there it is possible, although unlikely, to differentiate between the first two items and the latter two, and slander come upon one who is accustomed to swearing oaths. However, they are annulled through the city's leader, who sets the collections and taxes on each person according to his work that he can bear. 7. When an evil person becomes great, it is difficult to bring out a new explanation in the rulings of the authorities of the halacha. Jewish law. Also, the words of judges are not heard, accepted, sensible, by the litigants. 8. A kosher man must humble himself when he sees the sovereignty of an evildoer. 9. One who appropriates a position of authority for himself, through this his daughter becomes a prostitute. 10. One who leaves the needs of the community and engages in his own needs, is as if he takes bribery. 11. Through confession, one merits to high position. T.N. See See also success number 15. 12. Through the sanctity of the blessed GD's name, the rule of the leaders of the generation has full power and might. And through this the mitzvah of hospitality is highly regarded in everyone's eyes. And through this those that study the Torah merit that the halacha, final legal ruling on a matter of the Torah, is like them. Honor. 1. When there is a desire to discourage a man from serving GD, they give him honor in order to distract him. 2. One who speaks against the Zadok ends up humiliated in everyone's eyes. 3. One who belittles himself each day in his own eyes merits that his name will not be forgotten by the people, and people will name their children after him. 4. Tikkun Chatso, the midnight lament, rectification, is a segula, conducive, for honor. 5. One who causes the Blessed Holy One's glory to be raised high, he becomes famous. 6. One who offends the honor of Tzaddikim, through this he falls into weakness. 7. Hugging the Torah scroll is a segula, conducive, for honor. 8. Through humility comes honor. 9. Sometimes a man receives honor and greatness because of the merit of one of his household. 10. One who says, "I did not sin," is despised in everyone's eyes. 11. Most of the humiliations that come upon a man are due to the sins of his youth. 12. Extraordinary thirst is a sign of descent from honor. 13. One who saves a Torah scroll from any danger of destruction merits to honor. 14. The words of an honored man endure. 15. When you give honor to a man, give honor also to the one serving him. T.N. See also Rabbi Nachman's Storytales of Ancient Times. Story 3. Where the Zadok accorded the king of demons honor by letting him retain an egg. 16. When the dead are unearthed, it is certain that the Holy One, blessed be He, wanted to bring some humiliation on the living, and the matter was overturned. 17. One who transgresses the command of the Zadok, he falls from his importance. 18. Through chasing after honor one comes to idolatrous thoughts. 19. A man with a position of importance, it is not necessary to, i.e. one should not, humiliate him, even if he is wicked. 20. It is necessary to give honor to the monarchy, even though he worships idolatry. T.N. See the note on number 15, where the Zadok accorded honor to the king of demons. 21. Through the honor one gives to the Torah, one is saved from his enemies. 22. A miracle's honor is in its coming discreetly. 23. One who is despised, it is certain that he likes falsehood. 24. A man's clothes give honor to the man. 25. Honor is dependent upon the soul. T.N. See also Likutei Maharan Torah 67. 26. Honor is dependent upon the desire in the heart. 27. If you are being pursued, attacked, you will merit to have honor in this world. 28. Through visiting the sick, everyone is honored with him. 29. One who gains prestige by the shame of his friend will not merit to a book named after him. Part 2. 1. People who honor each other, it is certain that they are upright, and so too the opposite. 2. All the honor of all the monarchies in the world are included in the 4 monarchies. Through the fashioning of the menorah, Kiddush Levana, sanctifying the new moon, the incense, and guarding oneself from forbidden foods, all 4 monarchies return the honor within them to the blessed El Road. 3. By going forward to honor an important man, the 10 utterances by which the world was created are aroused. This also comes through bringing those who are distant back to GD. 4. It is necessary to honor one who the hour, fortune, smiles upon him. Horah instruction. Horah instruction, especially the derivation and teaching of Halakha, Jewish law, or the level of authority to do so. Part 2. 1. Someone who rules legal, Jewish law, decisions, and he is submissive to those greater than him. Through this the Holy One, blessed he will guard him that he should not stumble in a matter of a legal decision. 2. A place of horah is conducive to fear of GD. 3. When food in a person's house becomes non-kosher through the mixing of the forbidden with the permitted, and there is not enough of the permitted to annul the forbidden. This is a sign, he is being shown, from above, that the person has caused a blemish in some supernal unification and conjugation. For the unification and conjugation is the aspect of the forbidden being annulled in the permitted. The aspect of Psalm 68-7. Quote, GD returns individuals home. This is understood as getting them married, an aspect of union. Likutei Maharan Volume 2 Torah 29. He frees those imprisoned. Asirim. In auspicious times. Koshero. 4. When there is peace with the government. Through this there is born in Israel, the Jewish people, children who develop into instructors of the halacha. 5. One who is strict with others and lenient with himself, and claims he heard things he did not hear. Through this he does not merit to see the beauty of the king. For the klippa, evil force, of Edom, which is bad fear, darkens the light of his eyes so that he cannot gaze upon the beauty of the countenance of the king. 6. Through promiscuity, one falls into captivity, or sickness of pain in his feet. Also a student who has not reached the level of giving legal halacha, instruction and instructs, falls to this. Also, destructive forces dominate him. Hospitality. 1. One who does not take in guests strengthens the hand of evildoers, that they will not return in repentance. 2. A city that does not practice hospitality comes to sexual immorality, and through that it comes to murder. 3. Hospitality merits a woman to have sons. 4. Receiving guests is comparable to receiving the Shabbat. 5. One who hosts a Torah scholar in his home, it is considered as if he had offered the daily burnt offerings. 6. Receiving guests is greater than coming early to the house of worship or welcoming the divine presence. 7. Those who have no rabbis in their surroundings are comparable to cutting Samaritans. Part 2. 1. Through practicing hospitality, fear of GD rests upon all beings. 2. Receiving guests is a segula for returning a woman to her fertility cycle. 3. Through sanctifying GD's name, the leadership of the heads of the generation gains power and might. Through this, the commandment of hospitality gains importance in the eyes of all, and through this the scholars merit that the law is decided according to their opinion. House. 1. A house that is uninhabited, beware of entering it, for it is a place of demons. 2. One who has negative experiences in one place should go to another. 3. When a house is fit to be blessed, then when the tzaddik comes to the house, the blessing comes as well. 4. There are places that are conducive to good fortune, and the opposite is true as well. T.N. See also the entry of sweetening the judgment item number 61. Also see below number 15, and children number 89. 5. Relating to the issue of the good and bad that comes to a person in a fashion proximate to natural events. It is all according to the time and place. 6. One who takes revenge out of jealousy destroys his house. 7. The place from where a man exited, he does not have desire for that place, to get from it pleasure. Benefit. This adage is found in the Talmud in explanation to that which a person does not have any sexual desire for his mother. T.N. 8. If there is an uneducated Hasid, one who is overly pious, do not dwell in his neighborhood. 9. Any house in which words of Torah are heard will not be destroyed. 10. A city whose topography has major ascents and descents, its inhabitants grow old halfway through their lives. 11. If wine is poured out like water in a house, there is blessing. 12. Do not enter a house with idols in it. 13. Someone who wants to enter a house to live in it, he should recite the Torah in its entirety. T.N. In Breslov the custom is to read the 5 books of Moses, and it can be divided between many people, and afterwards he can enter to live in it. T.N. The commentators do not provide any citation, so I suggest a hint from a verse in Shemos 12:49. One Torah should be less than said, just as we find, one thing I said, greater than for the dweller and the sojourner that lives in your midst. 14. Someone without land is not a man. 15. There are places which cause one to commit transgressions. T.N. See previous number 4. 16. Anger and adultery of a woman destroy the house. 17. When the threshold of a house, or its entrances are destroyed, it is an evil omen for the house. T.N. See Children item number 105, and House Book 2 item number 3. Part 2. 1. Living on the upper floor of a house is more conducive to serving GD than living in the bottom floor. 2. Sometimes the construction of the house prevents a woman from conceiving, as when the beams are not placed according to their order from the 6 days of creation. In such a case, the house is as if it were destroyed, even though it is standing. This destruction comes and harms the woman, and she does not conceive. 3. At the entrance to a man's house it is discernible if his ancestral merit has finished, or if his ancestral merit is effective. T.N. See above Part 1. Number 17. 4. One needs to be careful, in the building of a house, that it should not have in its construction wood from trees that produce fruit. 5. The lumber that is in a structure, if a man merits, it will be in the aspect of fiery angels standing. Isaiah chapter 6 verse 2. And the structure will stand for a long time. If he does not merit, the fiery angels are burned, and thus the fires that abound. 6. When a man builds a wall, and its capstone falls, he should know that this is an evil omen for his progeny. T.N. See below number 9. 7. A man does not find satisfaction, lit, enjoy or benefit, unless he dwells in a place where his forefathers dwelled. 8. It is a segula, auspicious, when one moves into a new house to live, to bring in a sword, knife, or other weapon, a sign for this. With wisdom the house will be built. Mishli, Proverbs chapter 24 verse 3. Wisdom is the acronym for the passage. Extorted trade are their weapons. Bereshit 49-5. Quote, the word their trade, from this passage shares 2 definitions. Their swords and their dwellings, as both variations are explained in Rashi there. T.N. 9. The cap of a house is a sign for the group or family, concerning what will happen to them. T.N. See number 6. Humility. 1. One who shares in the suffering of the Jewish people, and prays for them. Through this he comes to humility. T.N. See also arrogance item number 11. 2. Through truth, one will merit to humility. 3. Through faith one comes to submission. 4. Through retaining a specific place for prayer, one comes to humility and piety. Hasidut. 5. Through humility one's prayer is heard, and it is as if he had offered all the sacrifices. 6. Through humility, additional greatness is added to one's greatness. 7. Through humility, one's days are lengthened. 8. Through humility, one's deeds are not scrutinized. 9. The day on which you humble yourself, that day adds strength, might and exaltation to the holiness above. 10. When you see that humility is increasing in the world, Be expectant for the footsteps of the Messiah. 11. Through humility. Fear of enemies is annulled. T.N. See also item number 15. 12. Through humility. Contention and suffering is annulled. 13. Through one's having humility, everyone is at peace with him. 14. Through humility comes grace. 15. One who has the quality of submission does not have fear, as if he were sitting in a fortress. T.N. See previous number 11. 16. Someone without the quality of submission has no fear of heaven. 17. Through humility one becomes great. Also he does not fall from his level. 18. Someone who is soft-hearted. He can submit himself more extremely to the extreme. 19. Through humility. The Holy One blessed is he remembers one. 20. Through humility. The Holy One blessed is he fulfills one's desires. 21. The world is only sustained by one who makes himself as nothing. Part 2. 1. A segula, auspicious. For having sons is to humble oneself. 2. Through excessive arrogance. One will be sodomized like a woman. 3. One can recognize in a man's voice whether he is humble or arrogant. T.N. The commentators do not provide any citations here, and there are many verses to bring, so I will present just 2. A hint from Psalms 68 to 34, he makes a voice of strength. And see Shemos 32 to 18 where Moses discerns the type of calling. Also see Likutei Maharan at the end of Torah 30. 4. Sometimes, through the lowliness with which a person diminishes himself, or through others diminishing him, through this is annulled a decree of death which was passed upon him. 5. When a person senses lowliness in himself, he should know that death has been decreed upon him. Husks. Evil forces. 1. The letters Aleph Tav Hey subdue the evil husks. 2. Protection for a woman giving birth is to write on parchment the verse, Hashem. Your hand was lifted up high. They did not see. They shall see and be ashamed about your jealousy for the people. The very fire for your enemies consumes them. Quote, Isaiah chapter 26 verse 11. 3. Evil husks are found in ruins. 4. A candle subdues the dominion of the evil husks. 5. A person's good fortune protects him from being harmed. 6. The 7 cries that David uttered at the water, when recited, subdue the evil spirit. 7. Damaging forces are found in pits, just like they are found in fields. 8. A place where people are not found. Demons are common there even during the day, but in the city, even at night, we are not wary. 9. On the north side, demons are very much revealed to people. 10. A segula, auspicious. Way to chase away the evil spirit is to recite the Torah portion of Noah. 11. When speaking with a wicked person, through the breath of his mouth we become more coarse, more physical. Part 2. 1. There are demons that are found in homes which ruin peace in the home. And as a result there is anger and quarreling in the home. The mainstay of the home is the wife, because one's house is his wife. Therefore, in general, the quarreling mainly comes from her. Sometimes, the demons become attached to the other members of the home, and as a result, they create quarreling and complaints. As in the case of the wife, through this, suffering comes to the members of the household. This is explained in the verse, their homes are at peace from fear. Our sages of blessed memory explain, from fear refers to demons. Hence, at peace from fear, because peace is the opposite of fear, which are the demons that ruin peace. Quote, and the rod of GD is not upon them. Quote, referring to the aforementioned suffering. Informer. 1. One who informs on his fellow man. To Gentiles, ends up being a vagabond. Enemies rise up against him. He experiences himself that which he wanted to bring upon his fellow. All those who depend on him fall, and the family of the one he pursued takes his greatness. 2. One who informs. To Gentiles. Zadok loses all his possessions. 3. It is permitted to kill an informer. To Gentiles. 4. It is forbidden to deliver. To Gentiles. Even an evildoer to execution. Investigation. Shakira, investigation, often denoting a philosophical proofs or reasonings based on human intellect or logic. 1. Contemplation of the world of chaos, that is, what is above and what is below, concepts beyond our grasp, causes curse. Conversely, one who guards himself from these investigations causes blessing. 2. Due to speculating about what is above and below, one's sustenance comes with great effort. 3. One who delves deeply into the subject of the chariot, Merkava, a mystical Kabbalistic concept of the divine presence, passes away before his time. Israel. Land of. Part 2. 1. Through settling the land of Israel, one perceives divine providence over the world. 2. According to the novelties a man derives from the Torah, he draws an illumination from the holiness of the land of Israel. 3. According to the longing one has to come to the land of Israel. Through this there is bountiful large income. 4. One who supports many people. Through this he draws blessing from Israel to the rest of the world. 5. One who longs for the land of Israel arouses longing in his mother and father, meaning in their souls, so they come to Israel. And the Holy One, blessed be he comes with them. And they wait and long for him. To come to the Holy Land. 6. Through the money one gives to the poor people that live in the land of Israel. Through this his wealth is maintained. 7. One who knows about the land of Israel, who has truly tasted the taste of the land of Israel, can recognize in another if he had been by a true Zadok on Rosh Hashanah or not. For one who merited being by a true Zadok on Rosh Hashanah, wherever he looks, the air of that place gains the aspect of the air of Israel. Therefore, anyone who knows the taste of the land of Israel, each person according to his level, will without question sense the land of Israel when he chances upon and meets with a man who had been by a true Zadok on Rosh Hashanah. For through such a man the air becomes the aspect of the air of the land of Israel. As explained above, jealousy. 1. When jealousy will be annulled, the ingathering of the exiles will take place. 2. Through jealousy come fires, burning. 3. Through jealousy comes bloodshed. 4. Through coveting the money of one's fellow, one becomes a fool. 5. Through your coming to a Zadok, your jealousy will be annulled. 6. Through jealousy, one's bones rot. 7. Garlic expels jealousy. 8. One who takes revenge out of jealousy destroys his house. 9. Through jealousy comes a weakening of strength. The commentators do not provide any citation here, so I have 3 things that come to mind. Psalms 37-8 read as follows. Do not be jealous which will harm you. Psalms 69-10 read as follows. For the jealousy of your house has eaten me. Psalms 73-2-3 feet and I almost collapsed. Just about poured out my legs. Because I was jealous.